Welcome to our channel on near-death experiences, NDEs. We'll explore stories of people who've been on the brink between life and death, returning with new perspectives. These accounts offer a unique glimpse into existence, life's meaning, and the universe. Each video is a journey through transformative experiences and spiritual discovery. We're creating a space of understanding and sharing for these extraordinary stories. Whether you're here out of curiosity or seeking comfort, we hope to bring you peace and awareness. Join us on this journey of spiritual exploration. Every moment is an opportunity to grow and love. Thank you for being here with us.
The author recounts a profound near-death experience, NDE, that occurred when she was a 19-year-old college student in New York City. On a cold winter night, she attended a party on the Upper East Side. As the evening drew to a close, she accepted a ride home in a friend's boyfriend's Volkswagen Beetle, despite the car being overcrowded with 7 passengers. As they drove downtown on 11th Avenue, the author noticed a large black car speeding towards them from a side street. She turned to warn the driver, but it was too late. The impact was sudden and violent, with the sound of crunching metal and breaking glass. In an instant, everything went black. The author describes entering a state of nothingness, devoid of sensory input or output. She likens it to being under general anesthesia, but with an instantaneous onset. There was no sense of time or spatial relationship, no ability to think or reason. It was simply nothing. After an indeterminate period, the author felt as if she was submerged in what she describes as heavy black water. She experienced a sensation of suffocation and felt her chest being compressed, unable to breathe. Instinctively, she associated this state with death. The author recalls that the heavy black water was not truly black, but rather a color she had never seen before or since, one that doesn't exist in the normal spectrum. As panic set in, she realized that if she didn't swim upwards quickly, she would remain in this state forever. With all her mental energy, the author began to swim towards what she perceived as the surface. This struggle felt prolonged and exhausting, with no sense of progress. However, she persevered, driven by the fear of remaining trapped in this state eternally. Suddenly, the author's hearing returned, though no other senses were present. She could hear voices around her, speaking urgently about a dangerous situation. She recalls hearing phrases like, "Is she free on that side? Hurry, it's gonna blow, get her out now. It's burning bad." The scene was one of panic and chaos, with her friends screaming incoherently and men shouting orders. The author experienced a sense of relief at hearing these voices, despite the frightening content. She describes a surreal moment of seeing her bare feet dangling above the dark water, wearing a white nightgown. This vision, however, was not through her physical eyes but rather a different form of perception she struggles to describe. The experience then became fragmented, with jumps in time and perception. The author heard someone say, "She's crashing," before losing consciousness again. She returned to the state of nothingness, but this time without the presence of the heavy black water. When her hearing returned once more, the author could discern that she had been freed from the car and was in a different location. She heard her friend nearby and overheard discussions about contacting someone on her behalf. It was only when she heard her friend threatening to sue that she realized they were talking about her. The author tried desperately to communicate that she could hear them, fearing a live burial, but was unable to move or speak. The final memory of that night was waking up in what appeared to be a large white room. A huge New York City policeman stood over her, repeatedly saying, "You was goddamn lucky, kid." She also saw a handsome young man about her age and another person in a straitjacket on a nearby table. Months later, the author learned the full extent of what had happened. The car they were in had been broadsided by another vehicle traveling at 55 miles per hour. She had been partially ejected through the windshield and became entangled in the wreckage. Rescue workers struggled to free her from the car, which had hit an electrical pole and was surrounded by sparking wires and leaking gasoline. The author was pronounced dead at one point but was revived. She was initially taken to a nearby bar while waiting for an ambulance, which explains the drunk man's question about whether she was dead. She went into cardiac arrest in the ambulance and was rushed to the hospital. The experience had a profound impact on the author's life and worldview. At 19, she had felt immortal, but this NDE shattered that illusion. She developed numerous phobias, particularly related to vehicles and situations where she lacked control. Even years later, she experiences anxiety as a passenger or driver when cars approach quickly from the right. Initially, the author's NDE led her to believe that scientific materialism was correct and that there was no afterlife. This belief drove her to live life to the fullest, valuing time as a precious commodity. However, as she grew older, she began to question this stance, especially after becoming a mother. The thought of her child's spirit simply ceasing to exist troubled her deeply. The author explored various religions in search of answers, not so much for herself but for the sake of her child. She grapples with the difficulty of reconciling the beauty and vibrancy of life with the finality of death. Part of her still considers the possibility that life is simply a product of Earth's out-of-control chemistry lab, but she remains open to other possibilities. In conclusion, the author's NDE has been a source of ongoing reflection and re-evaluation throughout her life. It has shaped her understanding of mortality, her approach to living, and her spiritual beliefs. While she still harbors doubts and questions, she acknowledges that the true nature of death and what lies beyond remains a mystery that she will only solve when her time comes.
If you enjoyed this video or you're interested in the topics we cover on this channel, I'd be really grateful if you could subscribe to the channel so you don't miss future content. Share the video with someone you think might appreciate it. Thank you so much for your support. Preface: near-death experiences, NDEs, can be profound, life-changing events. Remember, NDEs are subjective experiences, not proof of an afterlife or a guide for living. Channel purpose: this channel shares NDE stories and information, providing a platform for open discussion without promoting specific beliefs. Disclaimer: this content doesn't replace professional medical or psychological advice. If struggling with mental health issues, seek professional help immediately. If you've had an NDE and need support, consult a therapist experienced with NDEs. We don't promote suicide or self-harm. If considering suicide, contact a prevention lifeline immediately. Suicide prevention resources: National Suicide Prevention Lifeline, 1-800-273-8255. Crisis text line, text HOME to 741741. Conclusion: we hope you find this channel informative. For questions, please contact us. Remember, suicide prevention is crucial. If you're struggling, seek help. You're not alone.